Hello everybody. I am feeling super called to come talk about the in-between the two eclipse portal that we're in and the eclipse that's coming up on Friday and all the other things happening right now. There is a huge sandwich effect of things going on astrologically, and I just kind of want to break down each layer so that we can understand each invitation. First of all, today we start a new Mercury cycle. So when Mercury and the Sun come together during a retrograde, we start a new mercurial cycle. So imagine this is like a new Mercury moon, essentially. And with that comes us starting something fresh that has to do with Mercury. So writing, reading, learning, communication, projects, anything that's in the brain, anything that involves our mind is the invitation today is to start a new cycle. And so the last few days, I don't know if you felt it, I certainly have, and I know a lot of people in my life have, there was this like energy around closing the chapter and trying to get clarity and a lot of things surfacing. And Pluto was stationing and is now direct today. So whenever we have a planet station, their energy is all up in the consciousness. And Pluto means transformation and shedding and taking your power back. And so if you felt irritated, emotional, the dark, he kind of takes us to the deep spaces where things are lurking and asks us what needs to be brought to the table, what shadow aspects need to have a seat at your table. And between the two eclipses, this is a very, very karmic time. Like the veil is super thin and there's so much happening when it comes to our past lifetimes being activated, our past karma in relationships, our past shadows of like how we were killed and what happened to us, and all these things that we carry on into lifetimes from past lifetimes are right here, like bubbling up to the surface. And the invitation is to let them have a seat at the table, like I said, and to shed layers of the self and to really transform. But as you know, always with transformation comes hardship and suffering. Most times anyways, that's how humans do it. We decide that we need to suffer greatly in order to actually like move and transform and repattern ourselves. So if you're feeling like there's a lot coming up for you, this is why. And Pluto is hard. Pluto's energy is dark. Sometimes you could feel depressed. You could feel all kinds of things coming up to the surface. And really, whether you're conscious of it or not, your past lifetimes are right here with you all the time, but especially between eclipses, because we're being pushed down new pathways for our souls to follow, for our souls to embrace. And we're, in order to do that, with this eclipse coming up on Friday, we're being asked to shed a massive layer. And we're being asked to face darker parts of us. And part of being a human in this human experience is letting the human out, letting our messy sides out, letting our pain out. And for me, it's been one of not having to understand why. Like, why am I feeling like this? What is this? Like, often our whys get in the way. And I know I'm one of those people that always tries to get to the root of like, why is this happening? And sometimes you can't totally be conscious of why something is happening to you. You just have to sit with it. And during Taurus season, which we are halfway through now, in a couple of days, we are really being asked to like go into the body and ask ourselves, like, what does it mean to feel safe in our body? And being in Taurus season during an eclipse portal, which isn't always the case, this year it is, all this stuff that like has landed in our tissues and in our bones from this lifetime and past lifetimes that we've shoved away and become complacent or become comfortable are right here for us to view, us to embody, us to feel. Taurus is all about feeling. And my sun, moon, and Mercury are in Taurus. So I completely understand this energy because it's quite and for some people, it's like you're just fully put into your body. Like you're fully put into all the stuff that you've like tucked away into your tissues. And you're being asked to feel it, to heal it, and recreate a sense of security. And with this Mercury retrograde in Taurus, we're all about These are themes around our finances, our scarcity mindset, our security needs, our needs of sensuality, our needs to indulge in the beauty of life and hence slow down and be in nature and have time to breathe and have time to rest and have time to ask ourselves, like, what do we need physically? And what do I need to feel safe in my body? And maybe those things have shifted. And maybe you're asking yourself, what are my new values? Like, what have I valued in the past that's no longer sitting there with me? Because I've changed and grown, and I've honored these darker parts of me to come to the surface so that new values can be reborn. Are there things in your life that you want to reprioritize? This Mercury retrograde cycle is all about slowing down enough to like think about those things. And he's in the middle of his cycle, and so he's not direct until the 14th of May, but this Mercury Sun conjunction is really closing a chapter and opening a new one around those Taurus themes. So this eclipse coming up, I believe, is at 14 degrees of Scorpio. It's on Friday, and this is the full moon. So the new moon was at the last degree of Aries, and now that we're in Taurus season, the opposite point is Scorpio. And I just kind of want to talk about the two archetypes really quick. Taurus, like I said, is all about physicality, security, being grounded and rooted, being slow enough to indulge in the beauty of life, honoring your senses and your sensuality, really being in a body. And all of us right now during Taurus season are more physically sensitive. All of us. You cannot help it. It's just the invitation of Taurus season. So if you can, slow down enough to ask yourself when you wake up, what do you need? What do I need? What does my body need? How do I feel? What needs to come out? Maybe without like having to diagnose or understand why. Just let it move through you. The opposite side of that is Scorpio, opposite Taurus. And so this eclipse is a full moon eclipse, meaning the sun is on one side and the sun is in Taurus and the moon is in Scorpio. And this is a really, I feel like every astrologer always says this about everything, but this is a very powerful eclipse, okay? It's intense. It's related to our traumas. It's related to our shadow. And like everyone talks about shadow. What does that mean? That means that these are pieces and parts of you, like imagine them as passengers on your bus that you have told to go to the back, or you told to get off of the bus because they're too painful, or they're too shameful, or they're too scary. Scorpio will bring up all of these moments of fear and trauma and ask us in Taurus season to put them into our body. So they're in our tissues right now. You cannot avoid them. Eclipses will shove you through their portals, and what they're doing is they're asking you to realign yourself on the path that you chose before you came into a body. Why are you here? What is your mission? What are your new values, and how do you want to truly take your power back and live by those values? This is this eclipse. The other part is that it's conjunct Uranus. So the sun and Uranus are together, and the sun and Mercury are together. So there's this huge chunk of Taurus. So Uranus's energy is abrupt, unexpected, it's electrical, it's exciting, it's terrifying, it's authentic, it's freedom. And this eclipse is going to perhaps bring something to the surface that might be unexpected for you to face about yourself. It's going to activate that part of you that wants freedom, that wants not to be tied down, that wants to live authentically in your bones, in your tissues, with why you came here in a body in this lifetime. And our souls are always trying to push us on the contracted path that we signed up for. We took responsibility. We chose this. So whether that's suffering or it's something really beautiful, your souls are always presenting you with options to work through what you decided to responsibly sign up for. With this eclipse, we are all being shoved into deep transformative work to let go of old stories and patterns and traumas and hurts and pains and shadows that we have. Okay, so let's not say let go. Let's say bring them have a seat at the table. Bring them into awareness. Allow them to be, because part of being a human is doing this work and not shoving it away. So anyways, this eclipse might bring something unexpected to light. You might feel a little bit more rebellious. Take some time to relax. I know for me, Mercury retrograde has told me to slow way down and to trust. Trust that your higher self is always pushing you towards what you signed up for. And even if that means you have to face something ugly or hard or emotional, this is what we're doing. We're being pushed on the path that we signed up for in this lifetime. And that means your mission is activated. That means your soul is activated. That means your past lifetimes are activated during this eclipse. And there's something being illuminated, that's the full moon, for you to shed and let go of, perhaps abruptly, perhaps excitedly, perhaps like there's a light bulb moment, an aha moment that comes into light, or that's been coming into light. But this all peaks on Friday. And this week is an intense one, obviously, and there's a lot going on. And I want to reiterate that we need to slow down enough to feel it, and we need to slow down enough to not shove it away, because no matter what we do, the eclipse is going to bring stuff to light so that we can shed, so that we can let go, so that we can heal past lifetimes of things we brought in, so that we can end karmic relationships or projects, or like all kinds of change can happen. Uranus is the planet of change, and with this eclipse, his energy is alive and he likes to embrace change. So I could probably say so much more, but I don't want to take up too much time. But there is quite a complex layering of energies happening: Pluto, Uranus, the eclipses. So dear God, please be gentle on yourself this week. Take the time that you need to say no and rest and set a boundary. Take the time to allow whatever is surfacing to surface. Try not to judge it. You can always, call on your guides for help. You can always be in nature and ground your energy and let Mother Earth take some of that excess, like electrical energy out of your body to do some healing. And if you're feeling like you feel so pushed to like blaze a new trail or let go of something that's really held you down, and you really feel like you want to take your power back, and you want to understand exactly what it is that you came here to do at a soul level. Like, what is that contract that I signed up for? And really, that's your soul blueprint. Your soul blueprint tells us where you get stuck, where you want to be most free, what the hell you're here doing, what happened to you in past lifetimes, where your shadows are, where you come most alive, how you function at a mental, spiritual, physical level, how your emotional body works. There is so much packed into this amazing blueprint that we have that every day I feel so grateful that I have this map that helps me understand some of the reasoning as to how I can move more in flow with my life, and like how I can let go of things that are really like keeping me stuck in the mud. And it's, for me, it's been like the most beautiful tool for all the reasons, but essentially so that I can live more in alignment with like my soul, so that I can feel like alive and in alignment with why I'm here. And there's always, it's different for everybody. Like, some people are going to feel super duper alive when they're doing a certain job, and some people are going to feel super alive when they're feeling certain things, or when they're, there's all different kinds of reasons and ways that your soul can feel alive. And you don't want to get stuck in the past lifetime karma because that's where you're going to feel not great, where you're going to feel apathetic, or you're going to feel depressed, or you're going to feel really stuck. And what the blueprint actually does is help us understand how you can move out of that stuff, and how you can feel more like you're floating down the river and you're not grabbing onto the boulders that are there. Because that's what we do. We're really good at like holding on really tight to the boulders and then wondering why the heck we feel the way that we feel. And I have two ways that you can, if you are feeling called to have support of this, and you would like my support and understanding my how I can help you. I have two ways that I work with people. One is my alchemy program, which is a 4-month-long program where we work deeply, intimately together, just me and you, and we talk almost once a week for 4 months, and we really alchemize quickly where you are now and pull in this like better version of yourself where you're like way more at ease being here, and you understand the very big picture of what happened to you in past lifetimes and what you're doing in this lifetime. And that is one of my favorite ways to work with people. The other way you can work with me is my plug-in program, which is a 1-year program where we meet once a month, and I get to walk you through everything that's going on for you for a whole year. And it's a longer stretch of support, and it's not as intimate as if somebody's really wanting to like, now I have to do this now, I'm 10 out of 10 ready, I want to like understand myself and change. That would be the alchemy program. If you want full support of what is going on for you at a year glance astrologically, and also in that container we always talk about your soul and what you're doing here and where you get stuck. Like, no matter what I do, that's my passion for people, is really helping them have a big picture perspective of their soul. So both containers do this. One's just faster. Those are the 2 ways that you can work with me. And if you are interested in understanding or talking more about those details and logistics, please reach out. We can set up a free 30-minute phone call. I'll talk to you. I'll ask you some questions. We'll see if it's a good fit for you and for me. So it needs to be in alignment for me with knowing that I can actually help you. So if that feels like something that's like bubbling up, or you got chills when I'm talking about this, please send me a message and we can set up a time to do that. And I would be honored to support you as you walk this crazy path of being a human in a body. So that's, I think, all that I have to say. It is my deepest passion to help people understand their blueprint. And if that is something that you feel called to do, please reach out. I would love to set up a time to talk about it. Otherwise, take care of yourself as you're in this beautiful veil thinning karmic crazy window. Be gentle on yourself. Take a bath if you need it. Go out into nature if you need it. Ask your body what it needs. Like, chill out if that's ever a possibility for you. Find ways, even 10 minutes, to breathe. This is a big week. Sending all of you love.